Quiet on the set.
Now, I present to you the Adaption Pod.
Welcome back to the Adaption Podcast. In front of a live studio audience. No, please.
But
I was caught off guard here. Whoa.
I know this program user has a bunch of sound effects, so stay tuned if other things apply when I need to play them. So, yeah. So welcome back. This will probably be the first episode that comes out live because last week's is kind of stuck in a limbo. I can't access it in the cloud it uploaded, so it'll come out eventually. But this one will be the first one back onto the feed, video and audio. So we're short a man. He's just not here. Too good to show up.
he hates us.
He does hate us.
right now.
But
He didn't want
a
to
lot
watch
of
a movie with us. Not here.
you want to go watch a movie by himself.
Oh, Keep in mind, a movie that's been out for a while now.
Been out for a few years. 3 years.
Been out since the beginning of COVID.
And he said, "How can I watch the screen as leading as far as this as I can?" That's basically what he wanted to do. It's all right, because this is a gaming episode. I got a lot of gaming specific things since this is a gaming trio.
Beautiful.
Right here.
Beautiful. No top 10, huh?
We could talk about them, but I mean Daniel's not here, and I feel like he would want to talk about it. But I feel like
Well, he lost his chance.
it's true. So I do have a couple of headlines. They are gaming related because they're all kind of recent stuff that kind of came up. We could talk about what we've been watching. We can talk about tops, but I was going to suggest maybe we do a different little door we open up into maybe some of our favorite games from 23. Don't talk a lot about video games, but I thought maybe we'd take a little peek into that door today.
Okay.
Because I wanted to open it up to other things that we enjoyed in 2023, and I know we played a lot. At least I did, but we could talk about some of that today. But we'll just jump into some news first. First off, big rumors for our favorite video game franchise, Sonic the Hedgehog, is the casting for Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Hayden
Who
Christensen
was it again?
is rumored to be our Shadow. Little Annie himself.
Dude,
What?
As long as they give Shadow a chopper and a gun, I'll go see it. I'll go see it.
Would be good, honestly. I mean, he is back on the rise here.
I know he came back in Obi-Wan. He came back in Ahsoka. He's hot right now. They capitalize on that.
He's always
so
hot
right
dude.
now.
It's so hot right now.
Been hot.
Well, he wasn't hot when those first 3 movies dropped, so.
We don't talk about those.
Well,
We don't talk
in
about
that
exactly
third one,
why.
he was hot. He's actually pretty hot. Where he ends up in the third one, like scorching hot, like burning
You
hot.
saw what I was picking. You saw what I put down.
I
And
saw you
picking
were
right up.
putting down, so you wanted to continue it. So, but it sounds like everyone is here for that casting. If it has happened,
Yes. Yeah.
give him some more
Yeah.
roles. Get him out there. Give the man something.
Which
Nah,
I think
keep him
we'll
in
see a
Star
lot
Wars.
more of.
I think so. I think the recent return to Darth Vader has kind of piqued people's interest in him again. So I hope that leads to more casting opportunities for him. So,
Especially the Obi-Wan series. So.
especially the Obi-Wan series, because his stuff with Obi-Wan was the better moments in that show. So, now Chef's Kiss.
Yeah,
it's a lot
Chef's
of
kiss.
yeah. But jumping down to other casting news, they're hot in casting for The Last of Us 2 for the second season. I think we may have talked about Caitlin Dever joining to play Abby. I think we all played through the second game here, and we all know very well what her character is and what she'll be
Yeah.
doing. And
Yeah.
I think they casted for her Ellie's girlfriend as well, as Isabella Merced, I think is her name, and she's going to be in the new Madam Web, and she's
Oh.
been in some other stuff as well. How you feeling
She's
on this
Dora.
new season? She is Dora as well. Yes, I forgot she is Dora. How do you think people react to this new season, given how people reacted to the game?
Um. Yeah.
Because a lot of people were
Dude,
like already worried for the actress going to play Abby because of what's going to happen in the show. Do you think a similar reaction will happen, given also who's playing Joel?
Oh yeah, it's gonna happen, and that's the honestly like the only reason I watched The Last of Us was because it was really good and it was fantastic, but like I was genuinely just really wanted to see people's reactions to it, because if you have played The Last of Us, you know that the ending was like very cliffhanger, like it was just like open and nobody knew if there was gonna be a sequel or anything like that, and like I think like what, like almost 10 years after or 8 years, I don't know, years after they announced The Last of Us 2, and everybody was like, holy shit. Um, so like that was one of the main reasons why I wanted to watch The Last of Us season 1, but now that they did season 2 and The Last of Us 2 was so like polar, like there it was like either you loved it or you hated it. And there are reasons why people why like just absolutely hated that game, and then there's reasons why people loved it. So I'm just really excited just to see people's reactions and just to see the conversations and stuff like that. And I'm really excited to see how my girlfriend reacts to season 2 and what's her
I
thoughts on it. So
I couldn't imagine why people would react so badly in the beginning of the second season here.
why would they react like that? I don't.
I just
what?
hear
Just-
that the new girl that they cast is a huge golf fan.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Really likes to
yeah,
hit the driving range.
yeah.
got a
I think she
great
got a
swing.
scholarship to go play golf for
She
college.
really uses her knees when she
Yeah.
swings.
Tiger Woods would be jealous. Tiger Woods would be jealous.
Tiger Woods would be very jealous. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they say. So they say.
So they say. So they say. We still have a ways to go until we get this season. Probably not till next year, because I don't think they might have started filming or going to start filming soon. But we have a while to go until then. I know Daniel, he has not played the game, but he is aware what happens. He knows what happened. It got spoiled for him. So
Yeah, he got spoiled. That sucks.
Really?
yeah, he
Yeah,
told me he
read
knows.
in the comments.
He heard, he
Yeah.
saw in a comment what happens to him in the game. So he's aware now of what's going to happen.
Cool. That
Watch
we
that.
don't
So
have to. We don't have to wait for him
No, we don't. We
to watch
we
season
can-
1. Yeah.
We don't. We can talk about it fully.
Perfect.
Yeah, he knows
I
exactly
don't
what's going
care
to happen.
anymore then.
All I gotta say is, dude, if they don't do it as quick as like they did in the game, I'm gonna be pissed. Like if they drag it out, I'm just gonna be like, dude, this is so stupid.
I
But
The
I
first
think
season was
they'll-
pretty true to the game.
think they'll
Yeah,
stay
it
true
was.
to it. I'm sure they'll use a lot of flashbacks like they do in the game to show him more in the season, but I don't think they'll do a Walking Dead where they like end it, like add like a big cliffhanger on that moment, make you wait for this thing that you know it's
Yeah.
going to happen.
It's
So
not what we want.
we don't want that. Don't don't play with us like that. I think they're just gonna rip the Band-Aid off. I think they're gonna have to. There's no way around it. And I feel like they
yeah,
were pretty like like they stuck pretty close to the story, and they like albeit they changed stuff where they needed to. But I think that is a hard moment not to do, and you have to do it pretty early. Probably honestly it might be the
Yeah,
first episode.
well, if I do
don't
remember
think
one
so.
thing about The Last of Us 2 is that like it was very gameplay driven. Like a lot of the interactions in the story, like it wasn't like major cutscene and then you play through a level. It was like you play through this level and then as you're playing through it, like the story progresses as you're playing. So it kind of makes me wonder how they're gonna like implement that in the show. Like how are they gonna tell the story? Because a lot of the story was like gameplay driven. Like while you're playing the game, these like major things happen, and like it's gonna be interesting how they're gonna interpret that, and that's another interesting thing that I'm looking forward to.
And I think they show that a lot in the first season, where because it's kind of like the difference of storytelling between a video game and the movie, like a show or a movie, where you kind of have to be more direct with how you're telling your story, rather than in a video game you can kind of plant your little things throughout, and you could be like you can kind of learn certain things on the way. But
Yeah,
I think for this kind of thing, you have to present that stuff more upfront and be just have that story there. That way, you're not having the audience like not know what's going to happen or not sure what's going to happen. So I think that'll be it.
Yeah.
I think they'll adapt that well. So
I'm excited.
yeah, looking forward to that big swing. So see you then. Another in the Sony camp, there was another adaptation announcement that they are adapting Until Dawn into a movie with the same director as he did the Shazam movies, and he did Lights Out. He's known for horror, but he did the superhero movies recently. I think it's David F. Sandberg. So Brad, I know we played a chunk of Until Dawn. I know you didn't. I don't think you ever finished it, right? Josh, did you play Until Dawn?
No.
I watched the playthrough of it. I watched somebody play through it. I didn't play it. But I do know that that game is pretty much a movie. So
That's
I
the
don't know
thing.
how
It's
they're gonna make.
not only is
Like, how
that
they gonna do it?
it's a movie, but like it's so
It's very
decision based, where
Yes.
every decision you make is crucial to the story, and you can have multiple stories. Like you can play that game and have everyone live. You can play that game and everyone dies. I'm wondering how,
Yeah.
like, if they just going to pick a story and adapt that and just have the characters. Because I feel like a big component of that is being able to control your narrative in that game, and I think that's why a lot of people enjoy that. So I think the characters are still fun, and I think you could do something with it, but I'd be curious to see what they decide to do with like
maybe they make
adapting
5
this.
different movies.
They could
I'm
do
gonna
like
laugh so hard if they make it into a show. Oh no, it's
They've-
a movie.
it's going to be a
Never
movie
mind.
because like I know they've done things in the past where it's like vote who you want to like, what do you think happens or what do you want to happen, and like I think they've done that with like TV shows and like different types of media where you had the voice to control what happens. I don't imagine they're going to do something like this, but I know Clue, the movie Clue, when it came out, there was 3 different endings that you could see with the movie. So when you watched it in theaters, it'd always have a different ending. One of those 3 would play. There is a canon ending that if you watch like the home release, it shows you all 3 endings, and then the third one's like this is what actually happened. Though those other 2 are just what could have happened, kind of thing. So maybe they do something
Yeah.
like that. I don't know. I'm curious about it, but like I really like the game and I like the control I have and like what I can do there. So I'm not sure if the movie is going to appeal to me too much. I don't know how you guys feel on that.
I think the possibility of them making multiple movies and sending them out like they did with Spider-Verse, is it Into the Spider-Verse?
Oh, like
Oh, yeah,
across
they
the
had
Spider Verse
different
where they had
cuts.
like
How they
little
have
things.
how they had
Yeah,
different,
they had different
little
cuts.
different little things in each like showing or whatever, right?
Yeah.
That's a possibility. I mean, I don't see why they couldn't, splice up a movie 3 different ways or 5 different ways and release them differently.
As much as I think that's a great idea, I mean, they should just have us direct it, right? They should.
Oh, whoa,
We're
whoa, whoa, whoa,
we're
whoa,
we're,
whoa.
we're
But-
spoon feeding this.
Yeah, but the reality is I don't think they're gonna do that because the game is like very like early 2000s like horror like vibe. At least that's what I got from it. So it's like I just think they're just gonna make a movie that's Until Dawn-esque and like just roll with it. And plus, who's producing this movie? Like what? Like, is this like a? This is like
Well-
A24, right? Like,
No, I don't. I'm assuming. I don't know what studio Sony. It's probably Sony, I would imagine. I don't know if they've licensed this out to a different studio. I'm assuming it's going to be under them, and they just have
yeah,
this director coming on. But
yeah.
I
It's
don't know.
Sony. I don't have a lot of faith.
No, I mean,
I think
what
hopefully it's fun. Like that's all hopefully it's fun.
yeah, because the game is
But
very
we'll
campy.
see.
It's very like reminiscent of like a lot of slasher films, and it takes a lot of inspiration from that. So at
Yeah.
the end of the day, you hope that it kind of gets the tone and the feel of like playing the game without
Yeah.
missing the point, I guess, of what it was doing.
Yeah. Oh
So
my God, babe, let's make out right here next to this lake where it's totally scary.
Nah,
And
that's not scary.
No, don't worry, babe.
Let's
Instant
run through
death.
the basement in a towel.
Yeah.
yeah, that's all I had for that. Otherwise, I think that's really all the news I had. Just other things that they finished filming Mortal Kombat 2. That's coming out.
Oh yeah, I
I
forgot
think
about Mortal Kombat.
I think it might be coming out later this year. And they started filming for the Minecraft movie. So
Oh, dude, Minecraft.
get ready for
movie?
that.
Oh, dude, Minecraft Steve, dude, that's my boy.
Shout out
Broke
Mojang.
Smash Ultimate.
So Jason
my
Momoa and
boy.
Jack Black. Jack Black is Steve. Did
Shut
you know
up.
that?
Is he really?
He is. He's voicing Steve in the Minecraft movie.
Jack Black is unstoppable, man.
Yeah, they saw him.
He is unstoppable.
He's in. I think this will be his third adaptation of a video game. He was Bowser. Now he's Steve from Minecraft, and he's going to be Claptrap whenever that Borderlands movie comes out. That Borderlands movie is locked in a vault, and I think they're afraid
Oh,
to release it because I
yeah.
don't think it's going to be good. I think it's been ready to go for a while.
So bad.
I think it is.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it's been ready to go for a bit, and they keep delaying it. They haven't released a trailer. They've only shown like one photo of the cast silhouetted, like they're extremely backlit, so you just can see, like you can see Kevin Hart and you can see Jamie Lee Curtis, but they haven't really
Kevin
shown.
Hart is in it.
It's quite the cast. It's Kevin Hart, it's Kate Blanchett, it's Jamie Lee Curtis and Jack Black, and then some like other like
Wow.
names I think are attached, and it's being directed by Eli Roth, which that's a whole mixed bag in itself. So who knows what
Yeah,
this
so
movie's
it's
going to
delayed
be?
for a reason.
I have a feeling it's
That's
delayed for a
funny.
reason. Yeah, and I think like they did reshoots, and Eli Roth like came off as directing, and somebody else directed it. So there's a lot of stuff internally going on with that movie. I have no idea when we're getting it. Supposedly
That's
this
good.
year, allegedly,
Oh, good.
but we'll see. But that was
Make
all the
another
news.
Assassin's Creed cowards.
They are making something on Netflix, aren't they? They're doing like a TV
Oh wait, a
show.
TV show.
They're doing a TV
Remember
show.
that was my fucking idea. That was
Mhm.
I'm telling you,
bastards.
dude. We should just direct everything. We should just direct it.
No,
Sign
we
us up.
just pay us for ideas. Don't like.
Yeah. That's a better one. Yeah, just pay us for ideas. How do you want to adapt this video game? We've got you.
We got the idea
Yeah,
for you.
yeah.
We don't want to do any more than
We'll,
that.
we'll go. We'll go
Yeah.
movie, TV show, movie,
Movie.
TV show.
Pay us.
Yeah, there you go. Pay us.
Movie, pay me.
Um,
Well, there is actually one that I do want to talk about, and I hope you don't. I don't know if we talked about it.
please.
Death Stranding.
I don't
Did
know
we
if we
talk
talked
about that?
about. I don't know if we talked about it. We might have mentioned it, but I don't recall. But A24
Yeah.
is partnering with Kojima to do a Death Stranding movie.
Yeah, which is gonna be really interesting because if you guys don't know who Hideo Kojima is, he created a very famous video game franchise that all the nerds protect and love. It's called Metal Gear, and it's been going on for a very long time. And then Hideo Kojima said, "Bye, I don't want it anymore," and he created his own video game called Death Stranding. And that game was a giant bag of what the fuck. Because it was weird when the trailer came out, because Norman Reedus was yeeks out for the boys with the baby, and it was just like it was just weird. There was whales in the sky upside down, like dead fish on the beach. You know, it's very weird. I never played it, but I do know the reactions to it were very split.
Mhm.
But I do know one person that did play some of it, and he's right here with us, ladies and gentlemen, Derek Joya.
I did play a few hours of it. I played about. I didn't finish it. I played about 5 to 10 hours of it. Friend of the show, Shay, has played it. He completely finished it. I don't recall his opinion
Oh,
on the
shit.
game at this moment. Um, but
He doesn't know how he feels about it.
I don't remember how he feels about the game. I'm sure I'll get a text with his opinion after he listens to this. But um, I am curious about how they adapt that because it's like I don't know.
It's
The
just
game,
walking, isn't it?
it's just walking is the gameplay. I mean, there's some combat to it later on, and like there are very niche specific things to the combat where you're using bodily fluids as like ammunition and things like that.
Oh yeah.
He in a cup,
Yeah,
poured in
being
a
a
water
cup.
gun.
I don't know what they're gonna do with that. I don't know. I mean, and it's like one of those things too where it's like they're the realistic. If they'll just have to get the same cast because it's so photorealistic, like with the like Norman Reedus and like who else is in it?
So
Guillermo
we're gonna
del
get real
Toro
life Norman Reedus
is in
butt
it.
cheeks.
Yeah, I mean those are probably they could be his actual cheeks that they put into the game. I don't know. I can't confirm that
No,
for
they're
you,
gonna
but
CGI it in.
we'll find out when the movie comes
Someone
out.
play the
But-
someone play the song. Someone play the song.
He's like, that was your cue. That was your cue.
I don't have it ready.
No.
Go on, Josh.
Oh, I was just gonna say that like I'm very intrigued to see it, because it is a game that has like layers to it, right? It's a game that has a story, but it's trying to talk about more than just the story. Um, I know people on YouTube have made like an hour to like 2 hours describing the game, explaining the representation, deep diving to it. Obviously, this is his baby. Like this is like his pride and joy right now because there is a Death Stranding 2 coming out, the video game, and it's I don't know the release date, but it's coming out soon. I haven't seen the trailer for it because honestly, I don't care. But the movie is gonna be the movie is gonna be interesting because I'm just really intrigued to see how they're gonna interpret it. How are people gonna interpret it? Is it gonna be that weird to the point where people are just gonna absolutely just like not like it? And it's gonna be really interesting because instead of making a Metal Gear movie or show, they chose to make a Death Stranding movie. And I know Hideo doesn't have the rights to Metal Gear, but it's like if I was Hideo, I would fight for it. Be like, hey, like,
I think he
know?
did. I think there was some sort of between him and Konami. There was some internal conflict, and I don't think he did it willingly. Leaving that, I think Konami holds the rights. So I
Yeah.
don't think it was like his choice. And they've been trying to make a Metal Gear movie for probably 10 years, and it's just kind of one of those announcements you've heard of, like a video game being turned into a movie, where it just sits in like a limbo of is it going to happen? Like who knows? Oscar
Yeah.
Isaac was attached to play Snake. I don't know if he still is. It's been
choice.
years since they've talked about it. It would have been a good choice, but I don't know if that'll ever happen too. It just seems like it's just going to be kind of one of those projects that will just kind of be like a what if kind of thing, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, I'm just really intrigued about it, and I never played any Metal Gear game. The actual first Metal Gear game I played was his last one, which was Metal Gear Solid 5, and it was really fun. And then he came out with Death Stranding, and I was like, I don't know what you're doing here, but
Are we talking about Snake, the
Alright.
Fortnite character?
We are talking about Snake, the Fortnite character.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, the
He
Fortnite character, yes,
The Fortnite character. Yeah. Him and
Yeah.
Pete.
the Fortnite character. Him and
Peter
Peter
Griffin.
Griffin go ahead and take on the world. So
Yeah. I
But
hear
yeah.
ya.
Yeah. So I guess we'll kind of stay tuned on Death Stranding. I think A24 is the right studio to kind of release it. I think just based on their movies they kind of put out, I think it'll kind of fit into their niche. So I'll be curious to see what happens with that.
yeah.
But if there's no other news you boys had or wanted to talk about, I will let us jump into kind of what we've been watching recently. Who would like to talk about what they've been watching? I don't
Go
know
ahead,
who you're
Josh.
pointing at.
Okay, so I guess something that I've been watching recently has been a show called Homecoming. It's directed by the same guy who made Mr. Robot, and Mr. Robot is hands down one of my favorite shows of all time. I love that show to death. I don't know, I just really loved it. I thought it was very interesting the way it was shot, all that kind of stuff, the way it was filmed. And I was just curious one day. I was like, I wonder what this dude's been up to. So I looked up what he was making, and he made Homecoming, which is like 2 seasons. It's an easy watch. They're like 30 minutes, 30 to 35 minutes, and it's just really easy. Um, but yeah, Homecoming's great. I really love it. I think like the way it's shot, the way it's being told, the pace of it. I know it's based off of a podcast, um, but I don't know. I haven't listened to the podcast, but I really like it. I thought it was really, really well done. Um, I think like he has a for sure like stylistic approach to the way he like tells a story and shoots. You could see kind of like his style, like I feel like I could watch something and be like, oh yeah, this is directed by, I think his name is, I don't want to butcher his name, but it's Sam Ishmael, I think.
We have never butchered a name on this
He
show before.
Never.
I'm pretty sure I butchered the name, but I'm a big fan of his work. So my girlfriend, she's on TikTok and she heard about a movie called Leave the World Behind. I don't know if you guys watched it. It's on
Who hasn't?
Netflix. It's on Netflix, and I didn't know that he directed that movie until like literally I started watching Homecoming because my girlfriend was like, I really want to watch this. I was like, all right, we'll watch it, and I looked it up just to see how it's like doing on like Rotten Tomatoes. But as soon as I saw his name as director, I didn't even look to see what the score was because I was like, yo, I'm in. I'm excited to see this. I really want to see this. I heard it's very crazy and trippy and weird and kind of leaves you a little scared. But yeah, I watched it and it was
Were you a
okay.
little scared?
It wasn't. I was frightened, dude. Are you kidding me? I couldn't finish it. Um,
Frightened of
it
what
was
could happen
okay.
in the real world.
It was okay. It just reminded me of what's that one movie with Jake Gyllenhaal and he's like it's like in New York and this
Day After Tomorrow.
poster is there you go. God damn it, Greg,
Nice.
we're right here, dude. We're connected. It kind of reminded me of that, of like this like of this like world-ending kind of thing and like what if, and it does that aspect of it, which like after like the first two big oh my gods, it's like after a while it's just like okay, what what's next? Um, I think it does a good job by trying to start a conversation because obviously on TikTok everybody was talking about it. It is trying to send a message. It is trying to say something, and I think it does it pretty well. The only thing is that I think I don't know if he wanted to make this movie and then they just like well, Michelle Obama is a producer for this and she like funded it, or if she wanted to make this movie and she hired him. I don't know,
With
but
my
his stylistic
motherfucking tax dollars.
it went straight into this movie,
Yeah.
this okay movie. But I don't know if they just brought him in for a stylistic approach because there are some moments in here where you're watching this movie and there's like these slow panning like twisting shots and it's like what's the point of this? You know what I mean? It's a continuous shot, but it's like what's the point of this panning shot? Like for example, there's this one scene where like they literally put a water cup on a coffee table and then it's shot vertically and then it slowly pans and it turns horizontally to fill in the frame and then the character just grabs the water and drinks the water and that's it, and it's like okay, cool, but after like the seventh time it got kind of annoying and I was like okay, I don't know if my guy is struggling with this. They're like more panning shots, but it was a lot of that, but it did its job. It did okay. It's whatever. I wasn't too obsessed with it as I thought I was going to be, but it does what it needs to do well. It's okay. It's fine. Meh. And then one more thing that I've been watching is another Ghibli film, and it's Nausicaa, Queen of the Wind, Valley of the Wind.
Value of the Wind,
It's
I
an
think.
old Ghibli film, Nausicaa, Valley of the Wind. It's a Ghibli film that came out like in 1982. So it's an old one. It's on Max, and the reason I watched this is because the rumor is that he's gonna make a sequel to that movie. It's gonna be like the next movie. I know he just made Boy and the Heron, and these rumors are coming out, but I was like, never seen it. I might as well just watch it before whenever the next one comes out. Um, and yeah, this one is definitely a 1982 movie. It feels outdated. I will say it's kind of interesting because like Kiki's Delivery Service, you watch that and you could probably believe it came out in like 2010, 2008. But this one it feels like 1982, and you're just like, oh, okay, yeah. Um, but and the voice acting's like very off a little bit, but it's not bad. It's not
Aren't
terrible.
they all
Fun
off?
fact. uh,
I
not
mean, aren't they
all.
all off? You're telling me Christian Bale was a very believable voice character in some of the movies?
I mean, yeah, it's at least
I don't think it was
it's
bad.
passable.
You think
Yeah,
Kristen
it's
Dunst was like
passable.
working?
I think it's passable. I just think this one is like, it's beyond that, is what I'm trying to say.
I got you.
And it's like it's whatever. Fun fact, Shia LaBeouf is in this. He actually plays
Oh.
a character in this when he was like a
Shia
kid.
LaBeouf.
Hell yeah.
Shia LaBeouf, and yeah, so it is a little outdated. You could feel it. There are some great animated moments in here. Obviously, it's a Ghibli film, so you're gonna get that. Um, and I will admit, it is probably the most unique Ghibli film I've seen. I feel like it's kind of stands on its own compared to what his other movies have been. And I do think it was a great watch. I did like it, but I wasn't that obsessed with it as I thought I was gonna be, because it is kind of like Princess Mononoke-esque, where it's like talking about something, and what it's trying to talk about is ahead of its time. I think like at that time it's like, you know I think the topic is trying to tackle is like, a bit ahead of its time. um but yeah, I liked it. I didn't wasn't obsessed with it. And yeah, definitely better than Spirited Away though. I'll
The man you want to make that joke with isn't here,
and I
Yeah,
wish he
unfortunately.
was.
unfortunately.
But
Do you
yeah,
think
that's
Shia
what I've
LaBeouf
been
will
watching.
return for the sequel?
I
He's
mean,
done
it'd be
nothing,
crazy
right?
if he
Right
didn't.
now, right? He's not doing anything.
Yeah.
That's not
Really?
true. He did that movie, that Catholic movie, Padre Pio.
I heard he's trying
I
to
haven't seen
become
that.
a priest, like legitimately.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, what? No, I didn't.
He got so method with that role that now he's
He
trying to
did.
do that.
Oh, I didn't
He
know that.
he like stayed like for like almost like I think a year in like a monastery or some shit like that, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm converting.
Yeah, I'm converting.
This is who I
He's
am
like, you
now."
know what? I'm sold.
This is who I am now." Yeah.
Oh,
I
shit.
mean,
Sold.
good for him. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever he wants to do.
Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, there's a bunch of other stuff that I've been watching, but I'll log it. And yeah, that's kind of the two things I've been watching. Quick little tidbit: I have been watching One Piece. I'm on episode 223. Um, yeah, so still doing that grind as
Hell
far as
yeah.
anime. I haven't really been watching anything else, so that's kind of it. A little bit of Gossip Girl. What a show! What a show! Gossip Girl. What a show! That's
Go
all I gotta
piss, girl.
say. My boy Chuck. My boy Chuck.
XOXO, dude.
XOXO baby. XOXO. But yeah, that's what I've been watching.
Okay. I'll dive in. I'll jump in with some stuff I've been
Okay.
watching.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember where I left off with what we was watching last time. So I'll start with the Mean Girls musical because I think I watched that last night. I did quite the double feature movies, so that was the second part of my double feature. I had fun with this. I think this was a fun watch. I'm not like a diehard Mean Girls guy. The first one it's fun. I know.
Wow,
But
dude.
I know.
Wow.
I saw it just on a whim. And I think it's fun.
Crazy.
Some songs are good in this. I wasn't too offended by the musical. I will say though, I think if I was offended by one person, it's the lead, who's playing Lindsay Lohan's role. I felt she was pretty flat in both her performance and her songs. So usually it was, and
What?
the audience seemed to turn on her because there was multiple groups of girls who kept heckling her every time she came on screen. So I'm like, okay.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I just don't know if she got the right direction for this, but she didn't quite work. But Renee Rapp as Regina she was great. She was definitely like stealing the movie, and I think that's been like the one takeaway a lot of people are having. And like a lot of the supporting cast is really good in this too, and there is some good like funny moments, and they do update quite a bit of the story, and they do some like fan service kind of things from the original, and they kind of like tweaked it into this. So I think it's a fun watch. I think it's if you're a fan of the first, I think you'll get a enjoyment out of this. If you're not too opposed of it being a musical, then I think it's worth to check out too. So
Sounds like shit to me.
I mean, it could be. I mean, it's not for everyone. It's fair. In terms of other stuff, I caught up a lot of Oscar movies. I watched Maestro, which is I think Daniel talked about it when he watched it. It's Bradley Cooper starring and directing in this movie, and it was pretty good. I do think it kind of falls for some biopic-y kind of tropes. I think he mostly overcomes it, but I think a lot of the stuff in the script, it's not as like tight as it could be. Sometimes it feels pretty disjointed from scene to scene, things like that, because it focuses on the relationship of him and his wife, and his wife's being played by Carey Mulligan, and I think she is the standout performance in this. She's fantastic, and I do think it's very well shot, and the score, it's a lot of Leonard Bernstein's scores from his previous work is incorporated into this. I think it's just directly his stuff that they're using as a score, and it's just great stuff, and it works really well. And I think Bradley Cooper is doing a pretty good performance in this. Sometimes it does seem a bit like, I wouldn't say as bad as like Rami Malek's like impersonation of Freddie Mercury, but sometimes it comes off a little like impersonating. But I think he's still pretty solid in this. This was on Netflix as well, so if you want to give it a watch, check it out. Killers of the Flower Moon, I finally got around to watching. Brett and Danny talked about this a while ago when it came out originally. I watched this with my dad over the weekend. And I think I am the outlier. I think I enjoyed it. Not to say you guys didn't like it, but I think I enjoyed it probably more out of the three of us. I really liked this movie. I wasn't too bothered by the length. I think it was more in the front half of the movie. I'm like, all right, let's get this moving a little bit. But kind of once it gets going, it's pretty solid, and I think it moves pretty well. The performances are phenomenal. De Niro's playing a real fucking scummy guy in this. He's just one of the most evil guys I've seen in movies. And Leo is just playing like a fucking what's the word I want to call him?
Dumb fuck.
A dumb fuck. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much the kind of character he's playing in this. I mean, it really is. And Lily Gladstone's phenomenal in this. She's given a great performance in this. Yeah, phenomenal. She was just nominated for an Oscar for this performance too. First Native American nomination, I believe, in that category. I want to say.
Well, won't be the first Native American on the stage if she wins.
Yeah.
Shout out John Wayne, baby.
God damn. Oh, I've forgotten. Yeah, I really like this movie. I would say that compared to The Irishman, I think I would pick this one over The Irishman. I think I would watch this one again, but I don't know if I'd watch The Irishman again, if that is a comparison I can make from his kind of last two movies. I think they're about the same length too. I think this one just has a better, for me, it had better pacing and movement than The Irishman. I remember when I watched The Irishman, I did have to stop and take like an hour break and then continue on. But this one, we went through. We watched the whole thing. So it's finally streaming on Apple, if you have Apple, so you can watch it there.
Napoleon's next, baby.
I think Napoleon should be in like a week or so if it's not out.
It's
already.
It's available to rent.
We're able to rent, okay, but it should be hitting Apple soon.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that shit to be free. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's fair.
For it to be free.
I also watched.
Well,
go ahead.
Oh, well, I was gonna say. Well, I think Daniel and I also agreed that the third act, or the third part of the movie is where it finally took off and was phenomenal.
Yeah, I think the third act is like the last hour is phenomenal. I think in the second act is too. I think once the scheme, I guess, starts
Once-
going to effect. I think that's when it really kind of keeps that momentum. But I think it's like the first hour is probably the slowest chunk of the movie. But I think once it kind of gets past that, I think it has a good pacing throughout the rest of the film.
Yeah.
Anatomy of Fall, I also checked out finally. That was something Daniel had watched and previously talked about. And this is also up, I think, for Best Picture. This is a it's like 50% French, 50% English film, and it's about a woman who is being tried for the death of her husband. She is the lead suspect in his death, and it's kind of showing this case, and it's presented very ambiguously, and it kind of, I'll just say that it just leaves it gives you a very ambiguous depiction of this case and this story. And the son is he's blind as well, so that's just another layer to the movie and to the mystery as well. I did enjoy this a lot. I do like the writing in this. I think the performances are really good. It's just a very solid watch, and I do like the idea that you're able to kind of watch it and kind of come to your own conclusion, because it gives you kind of enough to make a case kind of whatever kind of way you want and how the movie is.
Man.
So it's not streaming anywhere. You can rent it. So I would recommend it if you're able to get to it. If you do find it streaming somewhere, if you don't have to pay for it, or if it's like a cheap rental. I think it might be cheaper now. It's been out digitally for a bit. So if you have the means to check it out, I would
I think
recommend
it's $5 on Amazon.
But for real.
For real.
I've been trying to watch it actually. So
I've been wanting to watch it.
I'll give you boys my Apple login if you want to watch it. I have it. I bought it.
that's what Daniel said too.
Oh, you bought it? It's on Apple?
It was like $15. I'm like, I'll just buy it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys want to watch it, I give you my login. So
Or we could just have a sleepover and, have a boys' night kind of thing.
same bed. Would
PG,
have to be.
PG,
Same
PG,
bed.
PG. Keep it PG. Close one. I almost lost it.
Almost lost my mind.
I'll jump into Ted, which I'll jump into TV real quick, which is something, Brett, also you watched as well. The new Ted TV show that came to Peacock. Big fan of this. I enjoyed this a lot. I wasn't sure what to expect.
Really?
If you're a fan of the Ted movies, which I am, and Brett, you are as well, a lot of that humor is there.
It works.
It works. I mean, Ted is such like a...
Yeah.
You just love Ted. You love that character, and I think it really works well in this TV format. I like the setting and the characters in this. It's a younger Mark Wahlberg's character and his family, and I think there's a lot of good dynamics with the family. Fan favorite Scott Grimes is in this as well.
Fuck that motherfucker.
Fuck that guy.
But I had a good time with it. I think it has a lot more hits than misses. For the show, I think there's a couple times where it's like it's some jokes don't always land, but I think it does a solid job. I also think the like couple episodes are running a little too long. Like there's like the first episode's like almost an hour. I'm like, I think this could have probably been like cut in half. But most of the episodes are like 30 minutes. But I think it was just the one episode that's that long. But everything else
Probably just to introduce you,
Yeah.
Did it come out like episode by episode, or was it all just available
All
to
at
binge?
once. Dropped it all at once.
Oh. Okay.
So
It's a Peacock exclusive.
Peacock. I think it was like their it was a big hit for them. I think it's their highest streamed show or comedy. It did really well on their platform. Brett, what were your thoughts on it?
I've only seen a couple episodes, and like you said, it works. So the fact that Ted can work on the big screen and he can work on the small screen, let's say, it's phenomenal, really. The jokes, I mean, for me, they hit.
Yeah, I'd
I'm
say
still
most
that immature,
they mainly hit. Yeah,
yeah, I'm still that immature kid that watched the first two movies, right? Like,
Yeah.
I love it. There was like the really funny like moment where Matt says like I just have diarrhea or something like that when he like shook
Yeah.
the girl's hand,
Yeah.
and you just like see Ted just like stare and go, "What?" Killed me. I listen. I think that Seth MacFarlane has nailed Ted,
Hmm.
like to the point where you could almost put Ted in anything now, and I think it'd work as
Yeah.
long as Seth MacFarlane's voicing Ted.
There's a lot of good bits in this. That first episode, there's a lot of good stuff, and it's sprinkled throughout. There's
Yeah.
a lot of good back and forth of dialogue, and I think it's pretty snappy. And his VFX look pretty good, like for the
Yeah.
TV. I'm sure this was like on a smaller budget, and he looked great. I think they did a good job of like making him look realistic and feel. I think there was only like I think I only noticed one scene where it kind of looked like, okay, this is probably pretty bad, but I think for the most part, they did a good job of kind of like making him feel real in this and making it look.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, I love Ted. I will always love Ted.
Yeah.
And the fact that they made it into a TV show, and I hope it goes on forever. Yeah, just like
Yeah.
Family
As
Guy,
long as Family
basically.
Guy, like you want it to go
Dude,
as long as Family Guy.
I think they could. I honestly, I really
I
think
think-
they could.
I
I'd be
think it
down for
would
an animated series of it
Be better
if they ever do.
than I think a better longevity than Family Guy. What was I gonna
Yeah.
say? I think if as of now it was being intended as a limited series, but I think Seth said if there's an interest to do more, they'll do more. I think, and I think based off the views and like I think it reviewed decently well too. Not like it was in positive in Rotten Tomatoes, so I think a lot of people were enjoying the show. I would see it doing another season. I don't see why it wouldn't get another season. So it
I
doesn't
don't see
really
why I
like
can't do 5.
end it. Yeah, it doesn't really end it like the show at the last episode. Like it's so they could easily do more.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, it was recommended to me, and you guys are gonna probably kill me for this, but I never really liked Ted. I watched.
Get him
man,
outta
you won't
here.
like it. Get out. Get
Well,
out.
I like some of the humor. I just felt like it didn't really age well. It's like very bro humor, and it's just like okay, that's kind of played out now. Okay,
That's
yeah,
the beauty
like,
of it.
I know, and like I just feel like I think so many people probably bit off that humor is what I'm trying to say, and I feel like
This guy's
it's like
too
so-
PC.
I don't know, so I'd watch it. I mean, if you guys are saying it's hilarious, I trust you guys. And also, my girlfriend's brother did recommend this one, and I was like, okay. I'll check
I
it
mean,
I don't know. You
check
hate
it-
Ted, so
Check it
out.
out.
I said I didn't hate it. I just said I wasn't obsessed with it.
If it's not for you, it's not for you. I mean, I would add an asterisk saying if you did like the 10 movies, you have a stronger chance of liking this show because I think you're already kind of tuned into the humor. I think it's a little more modernized. I think it's a little more updated. So I think it might work better for you now. I haven't seen the movies recently, so I don't know how the jokes have aged since then. But I think you should give it a shot at least. Give it a chance.
Oh yeah, I'll give it a chance.
Yeah. Last two things I'll talk about is something we both watched, Josh. First one I'll mention is ISS, which was the first half of my
yes.
double feature yesterday. You joined me for that movie.
I did.
And ISS is a sci-fi thriller set on the ISS, the International Space Station, where a group of American astronauts and Russian cosmonauts are kind of working side by side. And then a war breaks out between
Oh.
the U.S. and Russians, and they are both given instructions to take the ISS by any means necessary. And I think, in theory, this could have been better executed. I think it's okay at best. I think sometimes it works. Sometimes it's too slow. Sometimes there's some bad dialogue and poorly written exposition. Like there's a line in the beginning of the movie where it's like where the character talks about this like thing they get that's like, hey, this is made of the same material as our like elastic or whatever
Yeah.
it is, and I'm like, that's gonna come back in an hour from now, and it does.
And they
a lot
like
of stuff,
super zoom in on it too.
yeah, like highly focused. Like,
yeah,
okay,
super zoom in on that.
we get it. We'll need to remember this. So a lot of stuff like that, and
But
then there's
movies
some
do that shit all the time.
yeah, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's not always as obvious. Like sometimes it's like this was a little on the nose. Like sometimes you can do it in a more subtle way. Like a lot of the stuff when they're writing their dialogue or writing these like key notes, it's very kind of like on the nose. Like and Ariana DeBose's character makes kind of dumb decisions just purely for plot reasons. Like there's a point in the movie where there's a Russian woman, a part of the cosmonauts, and they're having this moment where they're trying to trust each other, and they kind of reach this point, and they're like, yes, we can trust each other. Like we're very upfront about it. She leaves. One of her American buddies comes over, and she's like, I'm trying to do this thing. He's like, oh, that doesn't exist. And she's like, that fucking bitch. And she immediately turns on her after this whole fucking big impactful scene that they just had, and she's like, no. So stuff like that. But I think there's some good paranoia, some good suspense in this, and there's some good like cast in this. But I just think ultimately the script doesn't fully work. It's just kind of falls apart at points. Josh, I don't know how you felt specifically on that.
Yeah, it was okay. It did what it needed to do. I just thought it was an interesting concept. I was like, oh yeah, what happens if a war breaks out and you're in space? What do you do? So I thought it was really interesting. That's why I kind of wanted to see it. But it was yeah, I don't know. Like the whole like, yo, this thing is made out of our spacesuits, and it zooms in on it, and then the guy's like, yo, you hear that humming? You know that sound? And then it zooms in on the fucking fan, and you're just like,
who's
okay,
getting a Hummer out here?
Yeah, you know, so
Who's wanting a Hummer right now?
Big Hummer. But yeah, it was okay. I don't know. I didn't really think it was like groundbreaking, but it was decent. There are some moments in the movie where it's kind of like you could tell it's just like fast pacing, and it's just like, okay, well, we're on to this next part where they're all turning against each other and all this stuff.
So it's an hour and a half, babe. We gotta get to it.
Yeah, it goes by fast. Like you're just like, damn, like they were just freaking partying it up right now. I'm gonna say a spoiler because I don't know why I thought I laughed at it.
Hold on, we got to make sure Brett doesn't want to know the ISS.
Oh yeah,
spoiler.
Brett, do you want to watch the ISS?
You know, you guys are selling it so good here. I think I'm gonna pass though.
I'll just say the first death scene that happens is a guy is out on the ISS, and they're telling him he has to fix something. And it's like so blatantly obvious that it's not broken.
We need you to fix the
Like,
satellite. It's definitely not working. As he's winking to his
it's not
friend.
working. Wink. And then his friend's like, yeah, it's not working. Wink, wink. And like, so he has to go out and fix it. And then they basically knock him off the space station. And he just fucking like floats away. And everybody's like, I need contact. I need contact. And they just show his reflection just like, just like floating. And it's just like, oh god, dude, like, but they never, like, it's just, I don't know, man. It was supposed to be like, I guess, impactful, but it wasn't impactful.
Well, here's what they did. One of my least favorite tropes. So yes, he's dead. About like an hour into the movie, they're like, one of the Russian guys sees him out there, and he's like, he's not dead. He's like holding on, and they bring him back in, and then.
Yeah.
He gets into a fight with one of the other Russian guys, and then they kill each other. Like,
yeah, they kill each other. Like,
you brought this man back to life
for, like,
just to be killed.
Yeah.
I hate those
it's
tropes.
Just, like, that's what I'm trying to say. Is like they kill the characters so fast, and it's just like, dude, like, all right, but yeah, it was okay. It did what it needed to do, and it's all right. So. The ISS more like ASS. Ha. Ha. Derek, I stole your joke. I'm sorry.
Hit it, Derek. Hit it. Perfect. Yeah. That was solid. That was solid, Josh.
Yeah, that was great.
Man.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Last one I'll talk about is Zone of Interest. Is it's done by the director is Jonathan Glazer. He did Under the Skin with Scarlett Johansson. That's probably his other kind of biggest movie he's done most recently. and it is about a German family. The father is a Nazi, and he
We love that.
you love that, and they
What the?
they live in a home like right outside like a concentration camp. So like their home concentration camp right next door.
Yeah, their home, big
Jesus
ass wall,
Christ.
concentration camp.
So how the movie is
course.
presented, how it's shown, is you're kind of like a fly on the wall to this family, and you're kind of they're on their date. It's like a family drama, except there's a concentration camp here the whole time. You never see inside the camp. You just know it's there, and you can hear everything that's happening. And
Everything.
it's just kind of in the background during this kind of movie. I'll, and we saw this with Daniel too, and I'm sure he'll say the same when he gets on. But we all enjoyed the movie. I think we were had a lot of kind of conversation about it after, like what the movie is kind of presenting and how it's being done. A lot of the imagery and the purpose of kind of presenting the movie the way it is, because you never get to see what's kind of going on in there. You're never given any kind of moment. You're literally, it's just through the perspective of this only, and it's very purposeful how it's being done like that. And there's just a lot of kind of like insight and things you can kind of look at and take away from and kind of pick up on as you're watching the movie. These like comments the family's making, and like the kind of background things that are happening throughout. It just makes you kind of think, and kind of makes you kind of I lost my thought there. Josh, why don't you go ahead and you talk about it?
Yeah, I left the movie. I want to like talk about it without trying to like give away too much, but it's kind of hard to do that because like this movie is very like I want to say complex. Like if the everyday viewer went to go watch this, they probably would just be like, "What the fuck was the point behind that?" But it's a little bit deeper than that. Like it's very interesting how they present this story about this family because it's very I would say it's very like pretty straightforward with that like that storyline. It's nothing crazy, but it's just crazy because it's they're Nazis. So you're watching this family trying to do what families do, and they're trying to move up in the ranks and have a better life and do all this kind of stuff while they're living next to a concentration camp. And you can't help but just like feel this like tension of like uncomfortable and like you really just like sit in the seat and like I've throughout that whole film I was just sitting in my chair. I don't think I moved once throughout that whole film. I think I just sat there and I was just watching. And the way it does this, it's like so interesting because it's like a mind trip. It's very like it's just very weird how they do it. Um, I really enjoyed it. I thought the way they told the story and how they made you feel was very creative and unique. Um, I think the way I would like to say it is like it's like presenting evil in a clean format. Like it's there, but you don't see it, if that makes sense. Like you know it's there though. Um, and it's just yeah, it's just real. Whoa, Brett, whoa.
My bad, my
Oh
bad,
shit!
my bad, my bad, my bad.
So yeah, I really enjoyed it. When we left the theater, I was still like processing all of it. Um, the very next day, I went for a run and I couldn't. I was just thinking about all these like little details and stuff like that they implemented in there. Um, when you leave that movie, you do feel uncomfortable, but you do feel a little like empty because yeah, it just makes you feel that way. You have to see it if you want to know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I
It's
really enjoyed it. It was really good.
it's um it's a hard one to recommend. It's like one of those movies where we have all these positive things, but I don't. It's not for everyone. I do think that it
Yeah,
might be hard to watch because of the subject matter and just the fact that
yeah,
you really are just zoned into this family, and you're just having to
yeah,
accept the idea that yes, they are Nazis, and yes, they will say hurtful things throughout and very
And there are some things
very
that are
evil things that
shown
are being said,
a
and
little
you
bit.
a
Yeah.
little bit, but you never truly see what is going on, but you just know it's happening. Yeah, and there are moments like in the movie, like there's a
Yeah.
scene where they have a bunch of people over for like a pool party. They have like a little pool, and they're like kids are laughing, screaming, playing, but it's also kind of being muddled with everything that's happening in the camp. So you're like, oh, what what am I hearing? Am I hearing both? Am I hearing one or the other? It's hard to tell, and it does a lot of that kind of imagery and that a lot of that kind of like throughout the movie. So
Yeah. Like this movie isn't trying to start a conversation, it's just trying to leave you feeling what it wants you to feel, and it does a great job. I think one of like the interesting parts, and I wouldn't say it's like a spoiler to the story or anything like that, but you are like in the theater right away, you sit in darkness for like what, like 5 minutes, 2 minutes, and
feels
all
like
you
it.
hear is just this. Yeah, it feels like 5 minutes, but it's probably a minute, 2 minutes maybe, but and all you hear is just this creepy ass sound that keeps on playing and playing and playing, and you're just sitting there like, what's going on? And you do feel very uncomfortable while you're sitting there in this theater, just blacked out, like no lights whatsoever, just this sound. And then as soon as it stops, it cuts, and then it shows like this beautiful landscape shot where the water's blue and the green is green, and this family's playing in the water, and you're just like sitting there like, what just happened? Um, that was just like weird to me. I remember that specifically happening, and me sitting in the theater just like, just what's happening? Is something gonna what? And that's how it kind of sets you up by making you uncomfortable. It's just by like playing these like really weird like sounds that you just like are just wondering. I want to know how the hell did they make those sounds. That's all I want to know is like who the hell did that. But yeah, overall, really like this movie. Tough recommendation, but if you want to see something weird, or not weird, but if you want to
You
see
want
an
to feel
interesting movie,
uncomfortable for almost 2 hours? This is a movie
yeah,
for you.
there you go. If you want to feel uncomfortable for 2 hours, this is it.
This sounds a lot like a movie me and Derek watched a long time ago.
What movie was that?
That is available on to watch on Stars. It's Downfall.
Downfall. I think I would say that
Our favorite German movie.
That was one of our poster movies, Downfall. I think if I could make the comparison between the two, I don't think this movie. I don't want to say Downfall is pro, but I wouldn't say it's fully anti. And I think that was some criticism of the movie that it sometimes is trying to humanize the Nazis.
Well, yeah, I think that was the whole point.
But I don't think this movie, I mean, is trying to do that. But yes, it is a similar feeling when we watched Downfall. So,
Yeah.
that was all I watched. That was all I wanted to talk about. I'll leave it to Brett to talk about what he's been watching.
Here I go. I'll bring it home. Well, boys, I've only watched one thing, realistically. But I'll talk about the two other things I've started.
Okay.
I have started a TV show that is on Hulu. It is about chili peppers. And it's about how the growing industry of chili peppers and all these people who think they're the hot shit, that they can eat a hot chili pepper like a Carolina Reaper. Like you have hotter peppers. You see people that are trying to grow hot peppers, right? And it kind of just like takes. I don't know how to describe this, but like it's all kind of centered around like one guy. Mm-hmm. One guy has a chokehold on the chili pepper market and has full control on whether companies buy a chili pepper or whether they don't buy a chili pepper. And it's all by one YouTuber named Johnny Scoville. Yes.
Yeah. Is it the guy that made that invented the Carolina Reaper?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Because he eats the Carolina Reaper and he's like, it's not that hot. And I'm just like, this guy's crazy, right? Like everyone knows, like when you hear Carolina Reaper, you think immediately like, oh, I'm gonna die, basically. But yeah, it's an interesting show so far. You have, like I said, people that are trying to get into like growing chilies, chili pepper eating contests. It kind of just takes a deep dive into the world of like chilies.
Is that show
Baby
being
back
produced by First We Feast, that company? Or is it, like the ones who does like Hot Ones? Are they involved at all in that
I
show?
don't know.
Cause I remember. I think I saw an ad for this show, and I for some reason thought they were attached in some form, but I could be mistaken. Unless there's another
It would make
hot
make
pepper
sense.
show.
Yeah.
He's doing the
While you're
research
looking
for-
that up, I will admit the chili pepper like wave, like that whole like hot sauce and like Carolina Reaper wave, that movement was real when Hot Ones came out. Like it's kind of weird, but like hot sauces were just like hot like Cholula and Tapatio and like sorry, I shouldn't say Tapatio, Tapatio and Cholula and all this other stuff, and like that's all it was. But now it's like everybody's like bringing out a hot sauce and people want to eat the hottest thing ever, and it's like this weird movement. So I'm intrigued on this show.
It's not
Derek, I don't
available.
think so.
No. Okay.
However, Ben Schwartz is the narrator, so you might be interested.
Oh, I am interested.
In that.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so that's a show that I've started. I don't know if I'm gonna finish it because I honestly, I don't know if I'm that interested in the chili market that much.
Yeah, how long are the episodes? Like 30
I think
minutes?
they're like 40 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
40, 50 minutes. And it's like basically everyone just trying to suck off this like YouTuber like to get them to eat their pepper and like review it and stuff. It's I don't know, man. It's weird. It's honestly like
Johnny
it's such a weird-
Scoville.
It's like such a weird like underground like market, but apparently like it's a $4 billion market or business. So
Yeah.
cool. Another TV show that I have actually, it's not even a TV show. I wouldn't even say it's a TV show. Boys, as we know, Brett Burke loves his Netflix documentaries. So much so that some could even say that he loves his Netflix mini series documentaries. Boys, I watched the mini series American Dream. This documentary is about a woman who gets kidnapped in Northern California. Very intense, very scary, right? Along the way of this entire investigation, right, you hear like that the boyfriend did it. You hear like that she's like covering up and stuff like that. It's a wild ride, I would say, and I will pose it to both of you as it was posed to me before I watched it. It is like the movie Gone Girl, okay, and that's how I'll leave it.
Okay.
Now, if you watch it, I want to hear your opinions on what you thought the entire time, because I could go in on the second episode and how I just didn't believe any of it, right?
Yeah.
But I won't do that to you guys because I won't spoil it. So that's where I'll leave it. I will say it's a
Okay.
very good documentary or docuseries, right? As we both know, or as we all know, actually, I live for Netflix docuseries.
It's your bread and butter.
It is. So it's a hot recommend from me. I will say that the ending is it takes a very wild turn.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Isn't
and,
it
that's,
American Nightmare? Is that what it's called?
did I call it?
was
Did I
gonna
say
say-
American Dream?
You said American
Yeah,
Dream.
you did. That's
Fuck,
the
it's
Trump
American
documentary.
Nightmare.
American Nightmare. American Nightmare.
American
Nightmare,
Nightmare,
Not American
Nightmare.
Dream. American Nightmare.
We don't want to talk about the Iowa caucuses or the New Hampshire.
Hey, maybe someone from the docuseries
Anyways.
will come and give us a recommend or a shout out, which has happened before.
What?
Do you remember?
Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
What was the docuseries?
Wait, what?
What was the docuseries?
I'll pull it up in a moment. I don't know how long ago, but we talked about this docuseries, and we were clowning on like the focus of it. It was this dude that was like this. He was a scummy guy. I want to say he was doing. Was he like a scam artist? He was doing a lot of shady shit. And one of the interviewees heard the podcast, and she like gave us kind of like a not a shout out, but like she's just like I appreciate like when I hear like men kind of like stand by this story and like kind of like because we're talking negatively about the subject of it. So it was kind of like the first time that we had this kind of like, oh shit.
What?
Let me see.
pretty
That's
crazy.
crazy.
Ray, you keep talking. Let me see if I can pull what documentary or what docuseries it was.
Another TV show that I've actually recently watched, now that I'm thinking about it, is Love on the Spectrum.
Dude, I've heard so much good stuff about this. I heard it's like so wholesome. I heard it's so wholesome.
It's one of the most wholesome TV shows I think I've ever watched in my life.
God damn it, I gotta watch it.
I've been laughing a bit at it because people with autism do not hold back at all.
No.
They will say what is on their mind, and sometimes it's just brutal honesty to the other person. And God damn it,
It's good.
it's good. It's good.
What season is it on? Hasn't it been out for a while?
Season 2.
Oh shoot, barely on season. Okay.
Yeah, they have some return. They have some people return for the second season from the first one. I would recommend watching the first season, of course.
Yeah.
It's not that long. I think I watched the whole entire first season in one day. Not even one day, maybe 2-3 hours.
Damn.
So,
that man's a binger.
It's a good TV show. If you like the whole Love Island stuff, or if you like the whole Love is Blind stuff. I wouldn't say like Love is Blind like this though,
Yeah.
but I mean obviously you got to know what you're dealing
Like a
with
dating
here.
show, kind of.
Right, yeah. You're following certain people around to find out if they can find a girlfriend or a boyfriend or anything like that. So yeah, it's a very good show so far. I mean, I'm enjoying it. Again, just brutally honest. It's phenomenal,
Yeah.
I love it.
No, yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I've heard great things. I know it was kind of trending on everything for a while.
It's trending again because the second season I think just came out last week.
Yeah, and people love
So-
it. So I'll check it out. I will admit that Netflix, as much as I hate Netflix, they do make good docu-series, documentaries and stuff like that. Like their sports documentaries, they're killing it with that. I watched the whole documentary on tennis, that Breakpoint
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, I watched that. I was like, Jesus, dude, so good. That F1 thing is 6 seasons strong. I saw
It's
that
over now.
that. Yeah. Oh, is it really? They're done.
Yeah,
done?
the F1 they're done, yeah.
Wait, what? Why?
I think that the drivers were just really not interested anymore or something like that. I think
okay,
the TV show posed more drama than there actually was.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's what I've heard. That it's making it more dramatic than it needs to be.
Yeah. However, don't get your hopes down, Josh. There's going to be a NASCAR version of that coming out very soon.
But Formula One's more fun.
You say that. No. You say that, though. You say that. But were you a Formula One fan before the show came out?
No, I wasn't. I mean, I'll watch
Exactly.
it. Obviously, I'm gonna watch it. Like I said, Netflix is good at that, so I will
Yeah.
watch it. But it's gonna be NASCAR.
Yeah, it's going to be NASCAR. Yeah, they're going to do a NASCAR one.
Ah, dude, that's so funny. I'll watch the NASCAR one for sure. I also watched the Untold story. I saw the Johnny Manziel documentary. I don't know if you saw that.
Of course.
That one was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Anti-Teo.
Netflix killing it. I haven't watched
know-
that one. I heard crazy shit though.
You should watch that one. That one's really good, actually.
Okay.
Speaking of Netflix and upcoming shows, a trailer dropped today from Netflix. The Avatar live-action series trailer has dropped.
Dude, I haven't watched anything on it. I kind of want to go into it blind. Oh, you're giving it chef kisses? Then it has to be great.
Chef's kiss everywhere on that. Especially since the live-action movie that we got from M. Night Shyamalan was a shit show.
It was a total shit
now,
show.
now seeing this and how great it could be or could have been,
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
Yeah. I'm glad they made it into
But,
a show, not a movie. I mean, a movie would have been cool too, but
I think if they just had a different director, maybe.
yeah.
I think that first movie could have been really good because I don't think that they were far off from being a great movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
They just needed to change maybe a few things.
Yeah.
Because they ended the first part in a really good spot, right? They kind of succeeded the whole Book of Water, but then the
Yeah.
next one would have been good, Earth, and then the third one would have been fucking phenomenal if they had the right people
Yeah.
doing it. But
Yeah, I think it's one of those things, like, not trying to be a little downer about it, but like I think anything is better than the M. Night Shyamalan thing. So I think like even if this one is like somewhat like, if it's okay, I think everybody will enjoy it a lot more than that. So big shout outs to the Avatar fans out there.
Yeah, dude, no one likes the M. Night Shyamalan version.
Yeah, no one
No
likes
one
that.
does. And if they do, they're a fucking liar. Straight up, they're a liar.
And we're
You
talking
can't tell
about
me-
Avatar: The Last Airbender, not
Right.
Avatar: The Tall Blue People.
Oh, well, I mean, those aren't the greatest movies ever either.
Dude, those movies are pretty in the middle for me. I'm not obsessed.
Yeah, they're in the middle for everybody except Daniel.
What?
Yeah,
Daniel's obsessed with them?
No,
No,
he
he
hates
hates
them. But
okay.
it
I
more
was gonna
stems from
say.
that he hates James Cameron. Like, so his opinion is more towards the man versus the movie, I would say.
How come he hates James Cameron? Is there a reason?
He ain't here to defend himself. You're gonna have to ask him.
I was gonna.
I will
I'll
not
ask him
speak
next time.
ill of Daniel's obsession and hatred of James Cameron when he's not here. So,
That's so funny.
but it is huge.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is huge. Like, yeah, he's had whole rants. Yes,
Oh,
I-
he'll go on for you.
Talk to him about it.
You were looking
you know
something
this.
up, Derek.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure out what docuseries we were talking about that ended up getting somebody from the docuseries to check out our podcast. And for the
Was
life
it
of
Hotel
me,
Cecil?
no, it wasn't Hotel Cecil. It was some dude, as I'm sure that narrows it down, doing some shady shit he shouldn't have been doing.
Oh, is it the guy that like played girls on Tinder?
Was it the Tinder Swindler? I
No,
don't know.
because I didn't
I don't
watch
think it
that
was.
one.
I don't think
Was
it
it the
was a
Tinder
Swindler.
Swindler? Is it that one? Oh,
It's
not
too
that
new.
one.
I'm trying to I don't know how far. I don't know how long ago it was. I'll have to dig outside this, and then I'll come back with that detail later on. So that'll just be a mystery for now.
That's funny.
But you just talked about the Avatar trailer. I'll be watching it. I'm hoping it's a One Piece scenario where it ends up being a solid adaptation of the source material. So that's the bar right now. So and I think it's a low bar after the movie. So
Yeah, that's
think
why I'm
so.
like anything will be better.
um,
But yeah.
I was gonna have us talk about some of our favorite games, but we are running a little long on time. So I think we'll save that for when we do the episode where we talk about our tops of the
Kingdom
year.
Hearts 2.
But before we go, I would like us to get back on the posters, the poster movie.
Oh shit.
I have
Poster movie.
the poster here. Josh, you'll be inducted into this. So, as just a reminder, we have a poster about, I think it's 250 movies by this company that says you should watch. I think it's based off IMDb. Also, I think it's a German-based company, so there are a lot of German movies we've noticed on here, a lot of just based on our kind of watch history. And there are a couple
They haven't
oddballs.
been bad though.
They have not been bad. I'm just saying there's been a lot of German films on here. So with that, I would like Josh, can you pick a number between 1 through 21?
21.
21.
21.
And then-
Okay.
Brett, can you pick a number between 1 and 10?
4.
All right. Okay. I think this is probably streaming somewhere. We are going to watch, I don't know if anyone's seen it, the original King Kong, the 1933 King Kong. Has anyone here seen that movie? I think I have seen it in a film class. Have you seen it, Josh?
Never seen the original.
Never seen the original. I don't know if Daniel might have seen it. I'm not sure. We can pick one more. Let's pick 2, and we'll see what we get on the second one. I would like Brett now to pick a number between 1 and 21.
Derek, I'm gonna go number 13.
And Josh, give me a number between 1 and 10.
6.
Okay. So that's it's a movie we picked already. So I'm looking in the row to see if there's anything interesting here. think it's all movies that we've seen. Let's do it again. Let's go ahead and pick new numbers. Brett, pick a new number between 1 through 21.
8.
Josh, pick another number between 1 through 10.
9.
All right, nothing in this row, so.
Perfect so far.
Oh, here we go. We're watching as well the Al Pacino classic Scarface, which I've seen it. Has everyone here seen that?
Yeah, I've seen it. I love that movie, dude.
We could talk
My
about that as
personal
well.
favorite.
I don't know if Daniel's seen it or not. I'm assuming he has.
The Ice Chico, they never lie.
But we will.
The
we will
most
talk-
hated man on the internet. Is that the documentary?
I think that is the
I think it is,
documentary.
dude.
The most hated man
I
on the
think
internet.
that is, yeah. The most hated man on the internet. He's just like this
That's
huge
it.
scumbag.
He's a
Hunter
huge
Moore.
scumbag. That's him. That's
Oh,
the guy.
that's what you. I thought. I was like.
That's the documentary we're talking about.
Most
And
hated
it's somebody
man on the internet?
who was interviewed, listened to the podcast, and gave us like a thumbs up,
Raving
because
review.
raving review because we were supportive of her and other people who were affected by Hunter Moore in this docuseries.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so
Derek, okay.
King Kong, Scarface. I will watch those on your time. If you want to rewatch Scarface, you can. But if you haven't, Josh, seems like you're the only one who hasn't watched King Kong, so you'll have a movie to watch for yourself.
Nice.
Brett, what were you gonna say?
Probably find that on Max. I was going to say, were you going to choose another one? But never mind.
I could choose one more.
You could just, choose it blindly, you know?
All right. So
Whatever your
I'm
finger
going-
lands on closest, you know?
All right. I can't
Nice
see
motion.
Mickey Mouse Magic Wand.
what. Wow. Raging Bull. I have not
Oh,
seen.
I've
Raging
never
Bull.
seen that.
Okay.
No.
All right.
There we go.
That's the
Wow,
boxing
look at
one,
that.
right?
It's the boxing one. Yeah, it's a Scorsese classic.
It's a
So
De Niro.
De Niro and Pesci. So
So,
Alright.
yeah,
I don't think I've seen any Scorsese films, so.
Well, looks like
Kill me
this will be your
if you
first
want.
one. You haven't seen any? I think we talked about this the other day, Josh, but I know you haven't
Wolf of
seen.
Wall Street, yeah.
You've seen
I
Wolf
think
of
that's
Wall
the only
Street.
one I've seen is Wolf of Wall Street.
All right, well,
Yeah.
we'll get you on Raging Bull. See where that's streaming. So, King Kong, Scarface, Raging Bull. Those will be some movies that we'll be talking about in a future episode. But with that, that is going to be it for this week's episode. Yeah. All right, and Brett, go ahead.
we have given this man too much power for too long. However, you can listen to this podcast and its live studio audience on the Spotify app, on the iHeartRadio app, on the Apple Podcasting app even. And you can follow us on social media at
Yeah, we're
Instagram at @AndActionPod, I believe.
Mhm. Yeah.
This isn't usually my part, but I don't listen either to this part. And you and you can follow us on TikTok at @AndAction. Derek?
Yeah, you can follow all
Okay,
of us individually wherever we want to shout out. Letterbox, Rocky Mountain. You can see me write dumb reviews for movies there. Boys, Brett.
Oh, okay, I'll go. You can follow me on Letterboxd as well at Brett and Action, where you can see my great grading scale for movies of great, okay, and good. Josh?
Kingdom Hearts 2 is a great game. Shout out to Norman Reedus' butt cheeks.
Okay, Brett. Where can
All
they
right,
find Daniel?
Other than the nearest gay strip club or in West Hollywood at the bar, you can find Daniel at the Pantages Theater on the weekends, the La Mirada Playhouse, the Amundsen Theater is where you can find Daniel mainly. But if you want to follow him on
Yeah.
social medias, I believe you can follow him on Instagram He just
Danko
shouts it out
89.
every week.
It's
Dude,
Danko
okay,
89,
yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah. Does he
I
shout
think
out?
it's this-
I think he shout outs his letterbox. I don't think he
Oh,
gives out his Instagram.
No, he used to shout it. I mean, it's on the it's
You
on
can
the
follow him
bio.
on
Okay.
Letterboxd, too. Anyways, that's where you can find Daniel.
Jeez. Thank you for tuning
Your
in.
nearest Renee rap concert.
Yeah, you're nearest for now.
Yeah.
Until next time.
This too.
All right, see ya. Get the fuck out
Go
of
play
here.
Kingdom Hearts 2.
Goodbye.
And cut.